All right, everybody, welcome to the Left 4 Dead podcast. Thank you for tuning in. A couple of announcements. We have a very big guest that is going to be on the show, perhaps the most high-profile guest that we have had at this point. We're still ironing out exactly when it's going to be. We're eyeing next week for next week's episode, but stay tuned. Keep tuning in like you have been. If you are following us on Instagram, we will be posting that special guest there first, so you can know ahead of time who it's going to be. We're still waiting to hear back from her manager at this point, but it will happen. If you know me and are in any group chats with me, you probably already know who it is.
Don't spoil it.
I'm not going to. We are beyond stoked to be having this wonderful person on the show. And another quick announcement, we have clips now on our YouTube. So if you are interested or unable or just don't want to listen to the entire show, we are going to start having more digestible clips on our YouTube. They're going to be little mini segments from the show about some of either the coolest discussions we have, some things that really stuck out to us, or just times when we popped off. So if you haven't already, check us out on YouTube. With that, roll intro.
Yes.
Guys, gals, and in-between pals, welcome back to the Left 4 Dead podcast, that radical left-wing show that your crazy conservative uncle warned you about. As always, my name is Dane Snudden, and today I am joined by one other co-host, my woke uncle, or as we've started calling him, Wunkle, James Harris.
Wunkle. I might be crazy. I might be an uncle, but I am not conservative. I will say. I gotta say though, this doesn't feel right doing this without Emma. It's like there's a gap somewhere.
I mean, yeah, Emma is the glue that holds the show together. Don't worry if you're listening. Emma is fine physically and mentally. She will be on next episode, but we are just, some things came up, had to be, you're stuck with James and I for this episode. So no fancy filters, unfortunately. No pirates or wizards or any of that.
Unfortunately, life doesn't care when we have a podcast to record.
Right.
Yeah, we're actually, it's dark out if you can see through Dane's camera. We're not recording at but o'clock in the morning. We're recording in the more normal revolutionary hours today.
Once again, yes. And we have a lot of stuff to talk about. I mean, last week I thought we had a lot to talk about. I mean, I think we're getting into one of those cycles with the Trump administration where, as you've said previously, flooding the zone, right? Like this, I don't even know where to start, to be honest.
I know exactly where to start. Today, there was a shooting at an ICE facility. It was some guy shot like 30 to 40 shots into an unmarked transport van, hit 3 people who were detained by ICE, hit no ICE agents, then shot himself in the head, and left a stripper clip with bullets with one that just said literally the words anti-ICE written on it in pen.
Allegedly, that's what it said.
Allegedly, yeah. I don't know if we can trust Capital, but like this one is to the point that even like the conservative subreddit thinks it's kind of sus.
Yeah, like no, for sure.
It's ridiculous. Like I would say, like this is why, because there's a lot of theories about the Kirk assassination being a false flag operation, right? And I 1000% do not buy that. There's a very simple reason why I don't buy that. It's because when you're pulling a false flag, you need to look competent. And like, but by the time the public even realizes something happens, you want to have somebody in custody, like a lot of times dead, some signed manifesto, like no, we reacted immediately, we knew exactly what we were doing. But no, they arrested the wrong guy twice, and then they only actually caught the guy because his dad turned him in. Like, no, that's not a false flag. It's competence to be. But this has the exact hallmarks that I think I said last week. Like, by the time the public was aware, like the guy was dead. Trump was tweeting, blaming the Democrats, and the dude's brother was even like, no, he's never expressed any political opinions. So
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I might have to put my Blue Anon hat on since Emma's not here to rep the Blue Anon side. But yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's obvious how they're going to spin this. I mean, we know that. I think everybody listening to the show knows that. I do think one thing that was interesting that I don't know if you heard about was the alleged report from the coroner about Kirk's assassination.
I did not spill.
Yeah. So allegedly, according to a TP USA spokesperson, a little game of telephone, right? TP USA spokesperson is saying what the coroner told them, and we know how telephone works, so
we know how TP USA works.
Right. There was no exit wound from a 30-06, which is allegedly, I'm not a hunter, allegedly a round that is used to take down moose.
Yeah. Okay. So I am a firearms expert. I have got a firearm that I've got zeroed at 1,100 yards. I was on an air rifle team. I know my guns, right?
Yeah.
I can't comment on the validity of that statement, but I'm gonna say that that's not impossible, because there's a type of ammunition called frangible rounds, and I don't know enough about this, but it is possible. A frangible round, it's usually a self-defense round, and what it does, it's like a super hollow point. So it's intended to almost completely disintegrate like as soon as it impacts. It's basically designed so that like if you're trying to shoot a robber in your house and you miss, it's not going to go through your drywall wall. It's just going to explode right there.
Got it. Yeah.
So it's not impossible.
Yeah, I mean, it is being twisted, and they're running it was a miracle that nobody else died, and it was an act of God, or Charlie's built different. Like people were calling him the Man of Steel because of that, because it was like lodged in his neck. But yeah, and then obviously the event happened, right? The memorial service in Arizona happened with a who's who of the current MAGA regime. Stephen Miller, who we reacted to on the last show, gave a
pretty awful speech.
A pretty awful Goebbels-esque speech, which, if you guys don't know who Goebbels is, not a great guy. Actually a Nazi and a high-ranking member of the Nazi Party in Germany. Pretty similar. And, there was the announcement that Erica Kirk is taking over TPUSA. TPUSA is obviously going to continue because they still need to have Republicans in office, right? That's their whole goal.
They should retire the whole organization in his memory.
I know. It would be such a shame if they did that. I really hope they don't do that.
He's irreplaceable. They don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah, no, and that was a big event. Trump obviously, as we all predicted, lashing out on the left, saying that Kirk was civil, but I'm not going to be, something along those lines.
And then he declared Antifa to be a terrorist organization, despite the fact that there is no organization that says Antifa. Antifa is not a group. It's a really vague ideology. That ideology is to oppose fascism. And when you take an act that opposes fascism you are part of Antifa.
Hey,
Like,
James,
it's not
yeah.
even an org.
I mean, it's as simple as just saying, "Hey, James, are you anti-fascist?"
I am anti-fascist. How about you, Dan?
I am. Welcome to Antifa.
Oh man.
Like that. That's literally what it is. I mean, and that's something when
Next episode, he's gonna introduce me as his crazy uncle that, according to the government, is a terrorist.
That's a good idea. But no, I mean, I remember when I was a young MAGA-brained conservative, I thought the same thing. I was like, Antifa is a terrorist organization, and then once I got on the left and joined actual leftist organizations, I was like, yeah, no, it's just people wearing black hoodies and masks and going to protests.
Yeah, that's.
But nonetheless, it is also a bit scary for sure, because the fact that Antifa is an idea and is not an organization does lend a bit of gray area for the administration to label anybody as Antifa, right? You could have your local college Dems be labeled as Antifa because they are,
We already know that's
leftward leaning.
We already know that's exactly the playbook. Like, look how they stretched DEI to mean basically everything. Everything they don't like is now DEI, like, or woke. Who can tell me what woke even is? Do you have a definition of woke? Because I certainly don't.
No.
But it gets applied to everything, and that's probably what's coming.
Right. No. And that's definitely some cause for a bit of alarm for sure, especially if you're somebody that's like an organizer that is actively in organizations, especially if you're in organizations that have already had intelligence agencies coming after them. I'm not going to name names, obviously, but there are a few out there. But yeah, I mean, this has been a kind of a wild time. I mean, there's just so much more, like the UN, saying that the UN needs to be bombed because Trump got stuck on an escalator. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that. Well, there was somebody, I forget, there was somebody that said it would be funny to turn the escalator off right when Trump stepped on it beforehand. And then it actually happened. I don't know. Like, it's a nothing burger of a story. Like, honestly, nobody should care about this, like, in the slightest. But Trump is so thin-skinned that, immediate outrage.
He's fragile. Like, I made a TikTok talking about, right? Like, all of these billionaires are so like, that's the thing that I don't understand is, like, if I was a billionaire, you would never fucking hear from me. Like, I'd go on a yacht and I would just disappear. You would not hear anything from me. But
Dan,
like,
you're a terrible communist. Like, imagine how much
well, okay.
Yeah,
I know.
That's what I thought.
No, I mean, I was saying like a right wing, billionaire. Okay. I'm not gonna, be a little snowflake like Zuckerberg and Musk and all of that. But I think the thing with the UN though, that's like so funny is like the UN has its problems for sure. Like, it's not a great institution. It definitely does some really good things. But I mean, it's one of those things. If the US leaves the UN,
it's kind of toothless when it comes to anything important already, and that'll just make it worse.
Right.
Answer your earlier thing about why these billionaires are so fragile. I think it actually makes a lot of sense. So you do not just luck your way into being a billionaire. Like, right. even your, what's the word I'm looking for? Saner? Maybe not saner, but you're better billionaires. No, like, I'm thinking about like Taylor Swift. Right?
Oh.
Hold on, I'm not saying she's good, right? I'm saying she's comparatively. But even like your better billionaires, you only get to that position from being absolutely ruthless in zero-sum negotiations, which means that you've dedicated your entire career to finding the weaknesses and exploiting them. Like whether it's your business partners, whether it's your business opposition, whether it's your customers, you find their weakness and you exploit the fuck out of that. So that is how you view the entire world, as a collection of weaknesses that you can exploit. So
Right.
you're naturally paranoid that other people are constantly analyzing you for weakness. You don't want anybody to know what those weaknesses are, so you need to cover it all up.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because I mean,
Your camera froze on my end.
oh yeah, it's frozen on my end here too. Hold on a second.
There you go.
Okay, back. Yeah, I think that it makes a lot of sense what you just said. It's just ironic that it's the people that are, you know, trying to be strong, right? You know, like Elon had paid somebody to play Diablo for him so that he could fit in, right? Like and then, you know, he has this persona of being a gamer, and according to his daughter, he was a bronze 3 Torbjorn made in Overwatch. Like, you know, like it just is, it's such a weird Black Mirror world that we're
My kid, my freaking 12-year-old is better than a bronze 3 Overwatch player. Just for some context.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my 2.5-year-old probably would be as well. My 2.5-year-old nephew.
I was gonna say, Dan, your door just dropped.
No. But yeah, and then there's just, it's tough because we've mentioned a lot about how we need to take kind of every little victory that we can get, every little kind of light that we can get in the darkness that's happening. And I know a big thing, at least for me, was we have a gubernatorial race next year, and we had a stellar candidate announced that they were going to be running. Francesca Hong, who was running as a Democratic Socialist, giving off Zoran Mamdani vibes. She's running on a pro-worker, pro-family platform. And get this, running without any super PAC or billionaire donations, completely grassroots. James, what do you think about that?
I think that I think it's got some real promise, right? Because, like I said, I despise MAGA, but I can absolutely understand why some people vote for him. Like we've got this long history of two parties that none of them care about the working class. You vote
Right.
for, and you've got one party that says, no, everything's fine. Like, don't believe your eyes. The economy's fine. The job market is fine. Cost of living is great. We did a fantastic job. We're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
But then you have the other party, which is basically Donald Trump, and fuck everything he says, but he's right about one thing, and that is acknowledging that the working class's lives suck, and it's the elites that did that.
Right.
So we've got, and I think for some reasons I'll get into later, I think we are on the verge of another shift in organizing. I think it has to move into meat space again. Like, as Obama since
What do you mean by
everything
meat space?
I think the future of organizing is going to be in person. I think it's going to be in person again, because of how much the zone is flooded. It's gotten flooded to the point where we're approaching dead internet theory type things, where everything you see on the internet it's kind of meaningless now. It doesn't mean so much.
Right.
But there is the thing that I'm really excited about here is that you have a hurdle in politics, and that hurdle is, like, your billionaires will donate to both political candidates, like every single race, right? And what that does is that no matter who wins, it gives them leverage, because you step out of line, all that is going to your opponent or whoever's going to primary you. Yeah. So it doesn't matter who wins, because there is some multi-billionaire that is going to have the leverage to tell them, no, that is not passing. So by going grassroots, it is an actual opportunity for people to take some of the power back if it works.
Yeah.
It is going to be an uphill regardless, but there is an opportunity.
Right. I mean, and I think that ultimately too, even if it fails, the sole fact that this experiment is being done shows other people that it's possible, right? And I applaud her for, I mean, going for mayor in New York, right? I'm not going to pair, New York City in and of itself is bigger than Green Bay. So, not to say that being the mayor of New York is nothing, but being a governor is a big fucking deal. Like that, and especially, I mean, I think our last two gubernatorial races were like 2% and 1% difference between pretty run-of-the-mill Dems and run-of-the-mill and MAGA now, obviously, Republicans. So I'm super stoked to see somebody like this running, just because it's a symbol. It's also somebody that you can rally behind, and it's somebody that people that, such as myself, that aren't super electoral can see somebody running and be like, hey, let's go. Here's a person that cares, right? Here's somebody who's pro working class. And even if they don't win, they tried.
Even if you don't win, you still open space for similar candidates in different offices.
Exactly.
Like
you normalize the conversation about that type of policy.
Exactly. And like say like a hypothetical situation, she loses, right? But then you see you got like 67% in Brown County. That tells you like, okay, we can run a socialist ass candidate in this county.
Right.
Like, and
yeah, it's honestly kind of a big brain move, to be honest, because it's almost like a litmus test of where people want to shift. And it'll be really interesting paying attention to her campaign and just seeing how things are ran. I've been very much enjoying their social media posts so far. They've just been she's 36 years old, right? So they've been very millennial, Gen Z,
barely older than me,
oriented. Like making videos like saying eat the rich and stuff like it doesn't get better than that. So that was one thing with everything that had happened in the past week or so that made me happy, genuinely. And think Left 4 Dead will be officially endorsing her. Yeah, that
because especially like I'm less left than Dane is, but there's like a common theme among us that like, you could I'd even include like your classic liberals in this, right? Like I shouldn't say classic liberals, I should say your liberals, because classical liberalism is conservatism.
Right.
But I should just say your liberals. And that is, we need a politician that'll actually fucking do something. Like literally something. Like what do we have? We've got Gavin Newsom tweeting mean things. We got Gavin Newsom tweeting mean things. We've got Senator Bernie Sanders and AOC like saying what they say, but they don't have the power to do much of anything. We need somebody to just literally do something. We don't need to be ideologically on board with 100%. We just need an alternative path to what's being offered right now.
Yeah. No, and I mean, we've talked about it, right? We interviewed Ahmad, who is a great example of that, of somebody that's like, you know what? Like I'm gonna pull my bootstraps up, to put it in a capitalist term, and do it myself. And having that position as somebody like that as governor would be spectacular. Because there's really ridiculous things that are going into the Wisconsin state legislature, right? Like there is a bill that is on the docket being talked about, that is being voted on, to conflate the definition of anti-Semitism with being pro-Palestine.
We're not the first ones that's
we aren't.
I swear. Yeah, continue.
Certain person having a certain flag behind them right now and
I've
having
got
a
that
long
flag on my
history,
car.
right? And and on your computer too.
Oh yeah.
Um, and having a long history of, this type of thing. So yeah, if we have people that can sit there and oppose that know what it means, right, to be actually anti-Semitic versus being anti-Zionist.
Yeah.
And Wisconsin has a history. Like, people don't realize this too. Wisconsin has a history of very progressive candidates. Like UG Debs ran for president from jail in Wisconsin and was an open socialist and got a large amount of votes. Like,
And Milwaukee has this huge amount of socialist history too.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's kind of a left state, and it's weird how we became something else. And I think we became something else because the Democrats didn't do anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with you on that. I think one thing that we do also need to talk about a little bit, which we actually have brought up an episode or two ago, is the whole Tylenol situation.
Make sure that if you have autism, you take your Tylenol doses carefully, because if it's like multiplying negative numbers, and if you get the wrong dose, the autism will cancel out the autism and you'll end up normal, and that is not what you want.
For those of you that are not aware,
I think everybody's aware.
I mean, allegedly autism during pregnancy, or Tylenol during pregnancy causes autism. And it's weird that it's just Tylenol too. Like, they specified, and they did not say acetaminophen, which is the medicine that is in Tylenol and Aleve and like other stuff like that. They specifically said Tylenol. And
No, the real okay. There is some real Trump always a signature of the Trump administration is hiring the stupidest people he can find because he's worried that competent people might threaten him, right?
yeah.
This is just like the whole MAGA thing. MAGA simultaneously saying Trump deserves a Nobel Prize for Operation Warp Speed while saying the COVID vaccine causes
Right.
death. Like, literally the COVID vaccine that Donald Trump was president when he developed. But okay, so now we've gone full past anti-vax to land on fucking Tylenol of all things. And even if this was 100% true, even if it was, this is still a stupid nothing burger because Tylenol says on the bottle, don't take while pregnant.
And, and also, I see a lot of people talking about the rise of Tylenol. Why isn't anybody talking about the rise of galaxies since we've been putting telescopes in space? Think they should look into that a little bit. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't get it. It's just,
you mean the rise of autism, right? Because you said the rise of Tylenol.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I mean, people have been eating Tylenol for a long, long time. But yes, there's the rise of autism. That's not the rise of autism. This is the rise of autism diagnosis. You get better tools to detect something. Surprise, surprise, you find more of it. Who could have guessed? And they're saying, no, there was no
sending telescopes into space. Holy shit, there's more galaxies than we thought there were. Like,
yeah. They said that no, there's no autistic boomers. Yeah, and Grandpa just has a perfectly functioning model train that he spent thousands and thousands of dollars in his basement. Completely unrelated.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just it'll be because the neurodivergent people need support. They don't need cures. Okay, not that they're going to find a cure to autism, because it's not something that can be cured as far as all the data says. They need support. And where does support come from? Not through our current capitalist mode of production. And so they're trying to do what they can to appeal to all the crunchy moms, I guess. Because they already had them with anti-vax, and now it's going to be over-the-counter medications that are going to be getting boycotted. Then instead of measles coming back, we're going to have to start putting people in iron lungs or some shit. Like,
I'm really like morbidly curious about what's the logic that they landed on Tylenol, because like Trump doesn't do any like he doesn't do anything for no reason. He said this because he doesn't like Tylenol for some reason. Otherwise, you know, he's got to think of them as an enemy. But like, you
I
could have
told
picked,
Ivanka, stop taking Tylenol. Baron's gonna end up very weird.
you could have you could have picked so many things that the right doesn't like, but you landed on Tylenol. Like if it's the religious right, you could have said alcohol. You could have said
Right.
weed. You could have said like exposure to specifically the latex that's in condoms. Like,
Could have said it was the gays, you know?
yeah,
Like, yeah.
spreading gay autism everywhere. You could have
Right.
said so many different things, but you landed on fucking Tylenol. I
Oh
don't get
man,
it.
if Emma was here, she'd be going. I have a feeling she'd be going crazy. Oh, feel like we have to say it because she's not here. Fuck Ronald Reagan.
Fuck Ronald Reagan. The FBI killed Martin Luther King.
Yes, yes, and Malcolm X and Huey Newton. But okay, yeah, back to the news. Yeah, it's. I mean, is that? Do you even consider that flooding the zone? Like, is that
I think that is definitely flooding the zone, because
the Epstein tapes still aren't, or Epstein files still aren't out?
so I guarantee you, like we look back a week from now, and there's going to be something awful that the Trump administration did that just completely snuck under the radar. That's the purpose of this. You say something just really stupid and outrageous, and it grabs all the media attention while something else happens. Because I think now we're up to 4 Venezuelan boats that we bombed.
Yeah, no, and escalations with Russia and NATO. Trump calling for armed action against Russian airships. With NATO, the UN thing. There's a third flotilla, I think, floating to Gaza to distribute aid. Finally, a couple of places are saying that they're going to recognize Palestine as a state, but we're about 2 years too late, and about the
2 years, like,
population.
what do you mean 2 years? We're like
Well,
70 some years
yeah,
too late.
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah,
they're
better
saying
late
this
than
after
never.
the population of Green Bay has been killed, basically. Um, yeah, I mean,
It is. There's a reason why they say
it's a time.
may you live in interesting times is a curse. I
Yeah,
miss was that long ago that politics was pretty boring and you could pretty safely ignore it. But now you can't, and it consumes all of your attention, even if you don't like politics. And it's gotten toxic to the point where just paying attention to politics can give you a mental health crisis. I know, because this has happened to me.
yeah, happened to me as well. Yeah, and it's a really interesting line there, because you kind of have to just know what you can handle. You have to be able to recognize, and it's hard to recognize when you are going through mental health crises and that type of thing. Some people can take more than other people can, but also at the
And
same time, like the system wants people to be mentally exhausted, and that's not a reason. Me saying that is not a reason for you to push yourself when you're feeling down and feeling depressed, but at least recognizing that this is a result of the system that we live in, that I'm feeling this way because of the way that our media is laid out, because of the way that we receive news, because of our two-party system. Like, this is why this is happening. At least has helped me come to terms with all of that. And it's hard. It's hard being, having a hyper fixation on politics, for sure.
I think, maybe we should start, like, we should have a good news segment in here somewhere. So it's not like this show. We don't want this show to be a further cause of stress, right?
Right.
But on to your points about the media and hyperfixation, like, yeah, it happens. And then the only way you ever really know what you can handle and what you can keep up with is by going over that once. So it sucks that just to care about politics, you're effectively sentencing yourself to a mental health crisis. And on that note, here's an example of what I'm talking about with the media. Here you've got two stories that were making the rounds in left and right media like earlier in the month, right? First one on the left, ironically from the left media, Donald Trump health fears grow during awkward White House dinner he can't understand. And on the right, Texas isn't Minnesota. Muslims want to ban alcohol. Well, no, I can't see it. Want to ban alcohol, gambling, and pork as Sharia patrols arrive in Houston. And I don't know about you, but like these headlines immediately strike like an instant emotional reaction. Like on the left, like I don't know about you, but I don't want a president that doesn't know what's going on at all. Like that should be like the bare minimum requirement for the job. And the comments reflected that. They were saying things like 25th Amendment, impeach him for being incompetent, like basically those kind of comments. And on the right, like I am as literally as pro freedom of religion. You can live your life however you want, but I would worry about something like this. Like I don't want to be forced to live by the rules of a religion that isn't even mine, right?
I like pork.
Yeah. And alcohol.
Yeah.
Gambling. And the comments reflected that. This one was the right one was shared on right social media. There's a lot of Islamophobic comments saying things like Islam is not compatible with Western civilization, or like ban Muslims. We need to bring Christianity into government, stuff like that. But here is the thing: the left one, the entire fucking article, which you don't see until you get to the bottom. He basically somebody asked him a question. He put his hand up to his ear, basically went, "What? Could you repeat that?" He didn't hear a fucking question. That's the entire goddamn article. Now, I know there's plenty of fucking things we can criticize Donald Trump for. We have, and we will continue to do that. But I don't think not hearing a question is one of them. And on the right, the entire story is that there's a Muslim imam who told his congregation to boycott Muslim-owned businesses that sold alcohol, gambling, and pork. Like, it has nothing, it's not Sharia law. It's like an entirely internal Muslim thing. Like, neither of these stories are they're complete nothing burgers. They are not worth the paper they're printed on. There's nothing to these stories, but they're still written in a way that you read the headline and you get this visceral, instant emotional reaction. And that is the problem. And I think that's why we're so divided, because this is really, really easy to spot when it's the opposition doing it. Like I'd see this one about Muslims want Sharia law, and I'd hate click on that so fast, and then I'd read the whole thing critically, right? But on the left, I might go, well, I already knew Donald Trump was stupid, and then just keep scrolling and never read it.
Right.
The thing is, what I just want everybody to be really aware of is that no matter what your political side is, they do this to you. They do this to you because it's effective. And the media has figured out that fear is a more powerful motivator than hope, which is unfortunate. But there's only so far we can push this till it breaks. And I kind of suspect we're getting close.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I mean, we're literally getting to a time where, like, I mean, look what happened with Charlie Kirk. Like, the Washington Post, or no,
Milwaukee Journal,
Wall Street Journal.
Oh, yeah.
Wall Street Journal posted something that an informant for Steven Crowder had sent them. The Wall Street Journal, like, that's supposed to be like, you know, a media platform that's put on a pedestal. And you know, like, we are literally getting to a point, and this is what fascism does. This is something it's always done, at least in the global North countries, something it always will do. No facts, right? The absence of truth is what they want. And I'm not saying that in like an absence of truth. That's why we need conservatism, because that's something conservatives will say a lot.
But yeah, becomes the most important part.
Right. Exactly. It's, yeah, I mean, it's a game. It quite literally is a game. And that's why we'll see what happens. I mean, I feel like this upcoming election season, just to kind of circle back, we are seeing people that are kind of separating themselves from that game, right? People like Zoran, Abdul Al Saeed from Michigan, Omar Fatah, like all of these, the lady that just won in Seattle, and there's another guy running super progressive in Maine, Representative Huang here. Like we're seeing people, this might be the dawn of, like you said, it getting back to actual, like, who can mobilize the most people on the ground.
I've seen even from like some more right-leaning family, I've seen like a meme shared quite a lot lately, which gives me a little bit of hope. That is, don't be so busy being a Democrat or a Republican that you forget to be a good person. Well, that's kind of an apolitical message, but that's still a message that's fundamentally in the right direction. We've got some recognition going on here, right?
Should be an apolitical message. I mean, we're considered radical because we care about people, but
But I think that we've kind of crossed the Rubicon to some degree. I think the only way back is in real space. I think we need, make sit-ins great again. Like some civil rights era, real life protesting, some nonviolent civil disobedience. I think that's the ticket. But I think the really, really important part, and time will see how well this ages. I think the real important part is that we need to connect and engage with people in person again, because dead internet theory is rapidly becoming a reality. Like you can go onto YouTube, you can find these channels where you can go onto YouTube, you find these channels where it's just AI content, and the easiest tell is that they upload it like an inhuman rate. You'll have multiple 1 hour plus documentaries that look really well produced published every week. And the problem is that it's going to be really difficult to get a message through to people online when the internet is flooded with so much nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you even find good info or an alternative perspective when the top 50 pages in Google are all AI nonsense?
Right.
And I think AI is going to play a significant role in this, right? But not for any of the right reasons, because AI is a tool of the elite. Just kind of by definition, you need to build a whole ass data center if you want an AI. Like you need a significant amount of capital just to operate that.
Right.
And because that tool is they're not going to allow it to be used in a way that goes against the interests of those with capital, at least not effectively. Like if you start generating some like really radically communist AI videos, like I guarantee you, like I'm not saying you should because that's really stupid. Like
tell that to the American Communist Party.
What they do? Are they generating
Well, first of all, they're National Socialists to start out with.
So they're Nazis.
Yes. But all of their like propaganda is AI generated, all of it.
So wait, there's an American, they're Nazis, but they're calling themselves the American Communist Party.
Yep.
That's a plant if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, no. Their head cadre take frequent visits to Russia. Really good friends with the Putin regime, and
that's a plant if I've ever seen one. Watch this. Editing break. Okay, from here. Watch this. This is a plant if I've ever seen one. We're going to go Wikipedia. Nazism, right there on Wikipedia, right? Nazism is the far-right totalitarian ideology. That is the literal first line on Wikipedia. How are you going to call yourself communist when you're Nazis?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, no. I was just bringing it up as an example. A little sidetracked, but
yeah, I don't think we should do that because, like, our power is in the people. It's in being honest. It's conveying something real. It's to be the opposite. If we adopt the tools, adopt the tools of the elites, we're no better than them. If we adopt their tools too much, we're just going to serve their interests, whether we realize it or not.
Yeah, I mean, and I think AI could be a tool that helps liberate people, right? It could be a tool that helps people that struggle to work or can't work a job that they want to work do that job. But instead, AI is being liberated, and we're we should be the ones doing the art, not the machine. The machine should be doing the work. We should be doing the art. And I think that that's a huge contradiction that we're seeing play out. Yeah, we've had a good discussion. Doesn't really hit the same without Emma, but comrades, listeners, she will be back. This is not the end of the Chaos Queen, merely the metamorphosis, so to speak.
Chaos is like a limited resource that you need to recharge sometimes.
Right. And stay tuned. Follow us on Instagram if you haven't already, to find out who our next guest is going to be. And my offer for James still stands. So even with our big guest, if we get over 100 streams, James is getting that Bigfoot hat, and we'll wear it on the show and probably to school as well.
Oh, definitely to school. Call to action. Volunteer for Francesca Hong's campaign.
Yes.
Like, the results, it doesn't matter. You're getting the word out. You're having conversations with people about pro workers' rights. Like, that does not matter how the election goes. By engaging in that, you're making a real difference.
You're being a true patriot. You're supporting families. You're supporting workers. And if you haven't any amount of money to give, $1, $2, $3, 50 cents, right? It's entirely grassroots funded, and that money will be going to a good use and end up going to better you and your loved ones and your neighbor and your neighbor's loved ones' lives. So remember, as always, get active, get wise, get organized. Emma, if she were here, would say, stay trashy, goblins.
Fuck Ronald Reagan.
Fuck Ronald Reagan. Free Palestine and fuck ICE.
Free Luigi.
Free Luigi.